Sam and Olivia were sitting in his office, watching the battle near the edge of the Kawaru system. Sam got up and started pacing as the Carpathian passenger ship went through the Gallic line. He turned and looked at Olivia. Holy crap! They just let them pass. He turned back, pointing. The Gallic are helping. She pointed at the ships. You think they're going to double-cross? I bet they're eager to get some of us to wear around. Sam shrugged. No idea. This is nuts. Holy crap, we're at war. Sam put his hands on his head, still pacing. Holy crap. Humanity are at war with us. Holy crap. Damn. Olivia stood up and put her arms around him. It's okay. We're okay. Hey, we're going to be okay. Sam hugged her back and started crying. I never planned any of this. I'm just trying to survive. I just want us all to survive out here. She squeezed him, holding her composure. We are surviving. We're okay. Sam sniffled a bit and calmed down. Still hugging her, he looked at the holodisplay of the battle. He watched as the boreholes fired out their slugs, and the rear Gallic fleet attacked. Holy shit, they're winning. They're stopping the carriers. Then Spitzlittle's army dove in. Holy shit! Look at Raga! Fucking owning! Olivia loosened her grip as she became fixated on the battle. Orbit appeared beside the two. Our simulations are predicting we prevail in this incursion, sir. We're going to have to deal with prisoners of war, and also the inclusion of a new faction of Gallic. What are your thoughts? Sam shrugged. I don't know. Well, I don't want any more bloodshed. This is nuts. Think they will broker for peace? Orbit blinked slowly at him. Yes, at least these ships will. The homeworlds probably won't. Data received is showing they have glassed the Heilung worlds and are now starting an extermination campaign against the 4 allied races. Olivia sat back down. That is really bad. That is messed up. I hoped we were past things like this. Sam sat back in his chair, looking at Orbit. Then they will probably send more. Dreadnoughts, crackers, more carriers. Crap. When they finish conquering, we would be next, wouldn't we? Yes, sir. The newly elected Chancellor has declared himself a sovereign. He has near fanatical support, and it is catalyzed by our existence and actions. We have calculated he will use the people's fear of us here to unite all worlds on that end of the Rift Rivers, and then, as a final move, send warships here. Sam shut his eyes and thought. Okay, we will deal with these 3 ships here and now. We will have to build up our military and espionage capabilities. Sam opened his eyes. Dam is building a fleet. Is he still en route to Kawaru? Yes, sir. He is on his new flagship, the Veritasium. He will arrive there within a few hours. Sam nodded, rubbing his temple. All right, good. Help him handle that situation. Get me ideas. We have several plans that could work, sir, but will require Senate approvals. Running simulations now. Sam looked over at Olivia. What do you think? She took a breath. I think we should open up communication with the HFY. The more we can counter this propaganda before they focus on us, the better. There are still logical people upstream, and if we get them fighting for us, then maybe his push will stall out. Sam pointed at her. That is a good idea. Orbit, let's start a counter-propaganda campaign. Can we do a big broadcast? Orbit nodded. Yes, we already have a station channel we broadcast to all the allied worlds. We can send a directional signal upstream through the sheath easily. Several have already been in communication via the sheath with us already. We could cement those allies and could potentially do an interview. Maybe start said campaign with them. Olivia smiled. I like it. What about the TIA? Sam looked at her, then at Orbit. Get everyone involved. Any idea? Run it through. Anything that can help, let's get funding to. We are at war, let's throw everything on the table and see what works. Yes, sir. Sending out messages now. Callie was sitting in the Neatsfoot diner with Josiah Seagraves. The two were eating their breakfast meal, watching the unfolding battle of Kawaru. Springer, the tower owner, walked over staring at the screen. Damn, Kaworu. That system is a magnet for war. We should husk out that world and leave that system a minefield. Josiah looked up at her. Thou shalt not destroy a life world should be the first commandment. That world is precious. For every blue gem, there are millions of rocks to mine out. Springer looked down at him. Still, it's a thorn in the clouder. First the Gallic, and now the humans coming to attack us. That planet's cursed. Callie chewed on her back and looked at the Lady Minotaur. The Stygians say this station is cursed, yet here you are living and breathing. Springer nodded and smiled. True. There's been lots of battles here too, and look at it now. Good point. She leaned over and filled up their coffees. Expanding our hotel to accommodate all the species wanting to see the Star Angels, the casino is a premier party destination, and soon we're going to have a racetrack. She stood straight and licked her large lips. You got a point, girlie. Maybe Sam will turn that crap hole into something as magnificent as this station. She turned and walked back towards the kitchen. Callie looked over at Josiah. Well, we're at war again. Josiah nodded. I've had my share of war. Same. She took a sip of coffee. I'm liking the archaeology work. If I can, I'm going to put another dig together. He rubbed his finger around the rim of his mug. Wasn't your last dig nearly wiped out by alien diseases? Callie shrugged. There were diseases, but everyone was okay. Where you plan on going? Gallic homeworld. Lots are saying that they and the Gree come from the same place, and that place is a forge world. Josiah took a sip and then sat his mug back down. Didn't your last dig end up a war zone itself? You encountered hostile Xenos, right? She nodded. Yup. And now there is a new city built, and those Xenos are a new allied race. Josiah sat in thought a moment. All right. So you will need a secure base outpost, like last time. You will need a military regiment and a substantial medical workforce. All of that along with your team of archaeologists, am I right? She smiled at him. Olivia is grounded. Callie rubbed her tummy and winked at him. So, I'm going to need a pilot for our ship. Josiah looked at her. That's why we're having breakfast? Not a date? She winked at him with the other eye. It can be a date too, but I need a pilot more than a lay. I've got a ship. I've got a trade route designated. I've got a crew lined up. I don't want to go to some hobunk planet waiting on you to dig holes. You never know, we might start another city there. You could get trade rights, maybe a mining deal. There are lots of opportunities. He took a bite of his blueberry pancakes. He spoke through the mouthful. Everything out here is full of opportunities. You can throw a rock off this station and hit an opportunity. I've got enough potential revenue streams to last 10 lifetimes. She stirred a sausage in the syrup residue on her plate. Well, what is it you want then? He chewed up the bite and swallowed. I'm an old man. I've spent my time. I just want to relax, find somewhere nice to hole up and watch some sunsets. She laughed and brought up a display. A planet glowed in the middle of the table. It had 4 moons orbiting it, and it orbited around a red giant. She zoomed in on the planet. It's over 80% ocean. We can set down on an island, build up a resort. I can do my digging. You can pilot my team around and relax back on your own personal haven. He looked at the planet. Isn't supposed to be a forge world? There's going to be all number of oceanic monstrosities circling every one of those islands. He pointed at it, looking at her. I don't want dragged out of my bar by some eldritch tentacled beast. She laughed. We don't know yet, but it would be fun to find out. He picked up a piece of bacon, looking her over. You're nuts, you know that, right? She nodded. Yeah, a bit. Years as a bookworm, and now I'm learning to let go and enjoy life. Go where the adventure beckons. He shook his head. Sounds more like suicide. Didn't you pirate the Hubu? Didn't you run through rogue mother systems to some pirate world of yours? Where is that Seagraves? That Seagraves had his fair share of prison, grew old. I'm not him anymore. She bit her finger for a moment. All right. I'll find someone else then. I'm sure this place is crawling with young, eager men. You have fun running your freight. That sounds nice and peaceful. You can rig up your ship with a heated blanket, maybe do some crosswords in transit. Sounds fitting. He sighed. I'm too old for this shit, but screw you if you're not right. That sounds boring as hell. He looked back at the hollow planet. You'll let me have my own island chain? She shrugged. Sure. I've got a mountain range back on Vitalia. Why not some islands? You sure you got claim rights? She nodded. It's only be given a flyby from the TIA. No one has laid claim, not even the Gallic. The records show them escaping with degree and never looking back. And it's still habitable? He asked. The atmosphere color readout measures as breathable. It has water, and there are lots of green swaths indicating plant life. All right, I'll redo my crew. We're going to need some tougher folks. Callie leaned back in her booth, stretching out her arms. Yeah, that's a good point. Curator is staying on Vitalia. I'm going to have to barter for a new AI. That's going to cost a bit given the new war effort that is going to happen. Josiah smiled. I got a deal going with Amargo running a factory on Sparrow. I think we can cover that. Callie smiled back. Tato and Sam were enjoying their morning jog, going around a new maintenance loop that rested on the outside of the ocean grower habitat and water storage. You have that important meeting today? Tato asked. Sam nodded as he moved. Yes, I expect it to be a shit show, though. Your people watch feces? Sounds unpleasant, doesn't it? It does, Tato said. Then you get the metaphor. Yes, now your statement makes sense. Tato bounced off one of the walls and kicked off the ceiling to land next to Sam. You are good in befriending peoples. You will do well. They are of your same species. Don't take it wrong, but I've always liked animals more than humans. I get along with all the species out here because they aren't human. Tato strode ahead and looped back abruptly to be next to Sam. You have your mate. She is human. You get along with her. She's weird like me. Her and I are in a minority. Tato twisted his head, looking at Sam with several of his eyes. The tar like you. The silly archaeologist female likes you. Greenfeet's clan likes you. And they don't like anyone. Even the Gallic like you. You are a better politician than you think, Sam. Sam looked over at him, still keeping pace. The Gallic fear us, specifically Cammy. Greenfeet owes the Clouder his people's freedom. The Tar, I think, are probably related to me. And Callie is part of the minority with Olivia and I. Excuses. Will this fecal viewing be public? Will my mate and I be able to observe it? It sounds quite interesting. Sam laughed. It will be on the Clouder network. Orbit has a channel embedded in the sheath broadcasting it through the HEU systems. It's about as public as it gets. No encryption at all. Tato bounced and dodged a herd of squishies. This is good. My mate and I will watch you. I hope for a good outcome. The two were running by a long stretch of windows looking out into the interior of the station sphere. Tato looked out with 3 of his 4 eyes. The inner hull is lighting up. I have heard you have made quite a bit selling habitat space. You're doing well? Sam smiled. Gotta fund the war effort. Ships aren't free. I approve of that. Defense of this place is important. It is a refuge and needs protected. Tato was quiet for a few strides. I wanted to thank you, Sam. What for? My family members have taken a liking to running errands. The food dashing is quite fun. My people are quickly paying down the loan from the consortium for our habitat. Also, your inclusion of paths married with the racetrack was very kind of you. I like stuff like that. Like what? Well, Sam started. As a kid, I was really interested in bugs. My homeworld didn't have many. Only a few species were brought from Earth. Spiders, bees, some flies, worms. There was an approved helpful species chart, and I had it memorized. But back on Earth, the insect species seemed endless. Anywhere there was a niche, they filled. I found it fascinating. Tato looked at him with 2 eyes. I don't understand the connection. What does this have to do with the racetrack? I found an old book, a real paper one in a library. It was about something called the superorganism. It was about bees and ants. You know what they are? No. Is that those things that roll in the ball and like the water shell meat creatures? Sam laughed. No, that is the starfish people. They were my first friends here. Good folk. No. Ants and bees are insects, simple, operate on very basic mental algorithms. They, however, grow in colonies and work together. They're simple software compounds and can accomplish amazing things when their numbers increase. Still unsure how this relates to the racetrack. Sam took a breath, feeling his leg muscles start to pang from the exertion. You and I, our body's basic unit is a cell, right? Yes, I have cells. Those cells clump together in organs that serve specific purposes in your body, right? Yes, basic biology for most species. This is true for mine. Sam smiled. Ants and bees and humans also are the next step on the fractal. Cells group into organs to accomplish specific tasks, and then bodies of people group together to accomplish certain tasks. Some people work together to make food. Others group together to make systems to accommodate waste removal. Others facilitate care, or business, or weapons. You seeing it yet? Tato flexed his quad mouthparts. I do. Cells, organs, bodies, and now species. The starfish people work together making farms, as do the other creatures, the four-legged ones. You have systems and species overlaying doing what they do, building this place. I see it. Tato chittered as thoughts clicked together. The racetrack and tunnels facilitate my species' work and improve the function of the station whole. That is quite wise, Sam. You foresee such needs, and you doubt you can handle talking to one of your own species? Sam shook his head. Systems are logical. I like logic. I like fixing things. Logical people, however, are the minority I was talking about. If they are not logical, what are they? Sam laughed. Balls of chaos and emotion, ego, ideas, and competition. This is why I like other species. What? In my species, you can't call out people on their ego. It makes them curl up more into it and get upset. We get angry easily. I can't just say, hey, that is illogical. You're not thinking in reality. Please get on topic here. They get all brain hurt. I can talk about it to you, though, because you're foreign to it. Tato bobbed a bit in his stride. No, my people are not foreign to it. Spaceflight took our people several generations to commit to because of the same issues. We can be quite stubborn in changing our ways. New things are not easily tolerated. Sam looked over at him. Your people are adapting to the twain quick enough. We tend to band together in the face of imminent death. Same on our homeworld. Took a cluster of incoming asteroids to get us motivated to leave our gravity well. Sam laughed. And it took the failure of your food systems to get you looking into joining systems around the rim. Correct. That is a good point. Thank you, Tato. Sam was sitting at his desk in his office. Olivia was moving stray hairs out of his face. Orbit glowed a few feet away next to a floating camera. A tray of scribblers hovered, ready to record every word for the walls. Olivia finished dolling him up. She looked him in the eyes. You ready? Sam, having enjoyed his jog, shower, and adequate breakfast, nodded. As ready as I can be. She smiled. Good. You're about to go on. Good luck, she said and kissed him. Orbit looked over at Sam and mouthed, 3, 2, 1, and then pointed. Sam stared into the camera. Hello, universe. A display appeared near the camera. A large man with a beard appeared and started talking. There he is, Sam Clemens, you finally show yourself. Sam looked around at everyone in the room, and then back at the camera. Yes, I am on camera. Hello, Mr. Garrigut. Thank you for joining me in this discussion. The large man shook his head. Joining you? Nice of you to show up finally. I'm surprised a coward like you has the balls to be on camera at all. Sam shut his eyes for a moment, calming himself. He opened his eyes and stared at Timothy. I'm not doing this for you at all. I'm doing this because people need to hear it. Garrigot scoffed. Hear what? Your list of bad choices? Your dedication to sin and atrocity? The people don't need to hear you. They need to see how your horrid life is leading you and your people into despair. You are a warning, Sam. That, the people need to hear. Sam shook his head. I feel the same about you, but I want to stress. I'm not doing this to cause more stress on an already tense situation. I want this to be a bridge of peace. The Hugh Sovereign stared at him. Peace. You have given sanctuary to humanity's greatest threat. You willingly allow chimeras to walk amongst your people. You and your science project are an abomination. You think we who know that faulty road, can allow you to keep on as you are? Sam smiled at the camera. And now a word from our sponsors. The feed cut to a commercial featuring the Twain Casino. The camera floated over the shoulders of Stickians bobbing their eye stalks as they won, and then over to a group of Craddock who spoke in their native language describing the drinks. The feed then changed over to a set of 4 obelisks as they described the hotel amenities. The commercial ended on Guachuk stretched out in his office thanking the Clowder and member worlds and encouraging all peoples to come and visit Twain. Sam reappeared on screen. Thank you, Guachuk, for funding this channel. Timothy looked off screen, confused. What the hell was that? You're using this debate to broadcast xenofilth? Sam laughed. The Webbians and the consortium have helped fund this station, and the Clowder from the beginning. Without their help, I would have died a long time ago. Sam smiled and raised his hand. That brings me to a point. Garrigot interrupted. Your point has been made. You side with aliens against your own people. You embrace hedonistic science and are creating threats beyond imagining. You are living in a floating box of sin. Anyways, Sam said calmly, out here, I have had to learn to live with all types of species and viewpoints. Being clear of my own and my people's bigotry helped me come to an understanding that has been lost with our people as of late. I've had to learn to make peace with species with different viewpoints. Wrong viewpoints, Tim interjected. Sam shook his head. The only wrong viewpoint I've found is when someone assumes theirs is the only right one. Yes, there are altered humans living on this station, and they are proud business owners and make some of the best omelets this side of the rift. Yes, there are AI reproducing out here, and they have proven themselves to be great assets. Whether they are facilitating construction or helping defend us from foreign invaders, or even aiding our hospital cure alien diseases, they have proven themselves to be just as alive as any organic and as flawed as any of us. He admits his own depravity. You are a demon, Sam Clemens. You're going to bring ruin to us all. Sam laughed. I don't care about anything upstream anymore. I have my world here. Nothing here is going to impact anything you are doing at all. I just want you to quit sending crap down the river. We don't need anything from you. Crap. You captured 3 Oblivion carriers and say they are crap. Garrigot raised his hands, flapping them around. You see, all of you see, he has no respect for our troops. Your troops were committing genocide. They are safely encamped. I gave them far more respect than they did their own civilians they were executing. Lies. Blaming xeno-atrocities on our veterans. Filth. Sam nodded at Orbit. Anyone interested in said xeno-atrocities, there is a file overlay with video footage from the last remaining Heilung ship. It clearly shows the carpet bombing from HEW interdictor ships. Sam glared at the camera. There is a threat to humanity, and it isn't Xeno, it isn't AI, and it isn't anything happening here. It is the same old power-grabbing fascist, rising up and killing anyone who doesn't think like him. Fake news. You think your edited footage proves anything? Sam waved at Orbit. The AI cut the tie and feed from Garrigot. Sam looked into the camera. This channel is going to remain open. We're going to continue broadcasting the goings-on of the Clowder. We have several peace festivals lined up. The racetrack is opening soon, and we will be broadcasting those. Several of the Fuimos have started a habitat show that will air every 7th cycle. It's all pretty good programming. My AI, Orbit, will have Rift Engine and beacon schematics embedded in the feed for anyone interested. We have worlds upon worlds of living space, and it is waiting for peoples just like you. So come on down. Leave your prejudices back in the HFY. The Clouder is here. Sam and Olivia were swimming in Zemuden's massive tank when the ocean grower surfaced. Hello, Sam. Sam, floating on his back, smiled over at the large creature. Hey, big guy. I saw your broadcast. Sam straightened and started treading water. What did you think? You included a file containing descriptions of all Clouder species, including my own. Sam nodded. Are you offended? Zemuden slowly blinked his large eye. Not at all, Sam. I just got off a communication that Orbit facilitated. The broadcast reached our homeworlds. My people know we are not dead now because of you. They are asking permission to send a colony ship. Zemuden raised a tentacle out of the water. Sam's earcom told him it meant a mix of honor, lower status, and hope. Would you allow them to come? Sam looked at Olivia. She smiled from her floaty. Your kind pride yourselves on mending ocean ecosystems, right? Zemuden slowly blinked at her. Yes. Water is a precious resource. We have co-evolved with our homeworld's oceans to be caretakers. It is in our DNA to care for water. We can be of more service if you allow us. Olivia nodded. Sparrow has new oceans starting that need a jump-start, as do several of the Margot worlds. Hell, the Margot, I bet, could use some of your engineers. Olivia raised her hand. You know what? Vitalia has a violent ocean. Everything is eating everything in it. I watched a boat from orbit get eaten in a single bite. You have any experience with fixing something like that? Zemuden coiled several tentacles, giving a sign of easy. My people have fixed all types of seas. Pollution, be it chemical, biological, or radioactive, is quite doable. Will you allow us to help? Sam swam over to the large ocean grower. He put his hand on the creature's tentacle that was as big around as his chest. Zemuden, I will ask the Senate, but I am sure they will welcome the help that your people bring. Sam tread water for a moment. You saw they are doing a show about the habitats, right? They are starting with the Webians. You designed that, didn't you? Zemuden blinked slowly in confirmation. It was a simple design. Their needs are basic, and their atmosphere is a well-known chemical composition. The alloys needed were readily available and easy to manipulate. Sam laughed. Beyond me, I can read instructions and that's about it. You have proven yourself time and again to my people, President. I thank you again. If there is anything we can do to help, let us know. Sam leaned back, took a deep breath, and floated again. You thought about joining the TARPA program? Right now it is mostly in Finnegan, but we could use other insights. We are adverse to war, but I will send a query. Sam spit some water into the air and turned to look into the creature's eye. I appreciate it. I have a feeling my people aren't going to leave us alone.